Howdy ho, YouTube. Let me just get the light real quick. Okay. This is KingCobraJFS with another video. I took a hot bath a while ago. That was very relaxing. Today at work, I was shoveling the snow off the sidewalks, and then I was in the process of salting them. And on one sidewalk, I backed up too quickly, and my tailbone, which is already pretty sore today, slammed into the door handle. That about, that hurt like a motherfucker, man. That was not pleasant. Okay. I was in the middle of a split shift, and my manager was like, "Do you want to stay through your split shift and so you can get more hours?" And I was like, "Yeah, sweet, no problem," and it hurt to walk. Like, I was moving like an inch a second, what I'm saying? Like, it was really agonizing. So I sat down for a little bit, it started to go away, but then as soon as I got back up, it continued again, right? So, needless to say, I wasn't very comfortable, and they noticed I was in pain. They're like, "Are you really in that much pain?" I said, "Yeah," and they're like, "Well, okay," so they sent me home, and regrettably, I didn't get to finish my split shift like I wanted to, which kind of sucks, but, oh well. Anyway, my dad got into a car crash. He's in the hospital right now. His pelvic bone's broken, and he's severely bruised up. I got the call from my mom while I was taking a bath, and, this is, I think, the second car crash he's been in. The first one he was in, he wrecked his car that he had since he was in high school, and, my mom was like, "Maybe you should shoot him a text, that'll make him feel better." I'm like, and then she says, "Well, he probably can't get to the phone because he's in the emergency room right now." I'm like, I'm not even going to bother texting him, to be honest with you. So, a couple months ago, I got a call from my mom saying my dad was at a hockey game, and apparently he got smacked in the head with a hockey puck. My dad's been wanting to lecture me about dyeing my hair. My dad gets so pissed off when I dye my hair. It's like, okay, I could somewhat understand living with him and my mom at the time, but now that I'm on my own, I can make my own goddamn decisions. So if my dad says, "You shouldn't have dyed your hair," and tries to make an issue out of it at Christmas dinner, I can simply tell him to go get in another car wreck. You combine that with the fact that my dad actually tore some tendons in his arm a couple months before that. So, yeah. And in all honesty, I'm trying to remember some good stuff, what I'm saying? But in all honesty, every time me and my dad fight, it brings up a lot of the negative crap in our past, and it's just frustrating, it really is. Yes, there's a stuffed dog in the background. That's Sean's dog. Taking care of that dog, Sean? That's what I thought. Okay.
Sean, have you named your dog?
Not really, no. Well, there you go. We'll think of a name eventually. But anyway, and I just know that's just the thing, too, is, I understand that, my dad feels like he has to give me advice on shit. I think the most awkward conversation I've had with my dad is when he was helping me move out of my room into this apartment. He stumbled across my Playboy magazines, and he tried giving me sexual advice on how to please Stephanie and shit. I'm like, I wanted to say, "Hey, dumbass, we've already had sex. Okay, you don't need to cover this shit with me. I pretty much figured everything out on my own, But I didn't, because I figured it would issue a fight of, so, whatever. The car crash, he's in a hospital right now. My mom's going to go get him. He's not in the hospital here in town, mind you. He's in a hospital. My mom's going to get him tomorrow. And, I honestly don't know what to think of that. Had the car crash killed him? I honestly don't know what I think about it. What I'm saying? It's one of those things where, well, Once that's just the thing. My dad's trying to make a living to provide for his family, and sometimes that requires not being in the house 24/7 with the rest of my family. I can understand that. But at the same time, like, if he did die, I'd be like, well, he was always away on trips working, so it won't make much of a difference to me. As harsh as that sounds, I think a lot of that comes from the negative impacts that some of me and my dad's fights have happened over the years. In fact, I can remember one Christmas, we got into a fight because I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I was of age, and it resulted in us getting into a fist fight over cigarettes. So, the thing of it is, too, is he knew I was outside smoking, but he still came outside to confront me on it anyway, And, what I'm saying, there's been a lot of negative incidents with me and my dad, what I'm saying. There's been a lot of positive ones, too. But I think when I'm, it's just one of those things, it's just... So, I don't know. But what I do know is apparently, my dad fought for custody when it came to me, my real mom, Laura, because he did not want me under her custody because she was unfit to be a parent. And he says, well, you shouldn't blame her, Josh. You should blame the way she was raised. My real mom, Laura, was brought up in a very strict kind of Jesus freak type household, basically. And when I had split custody, which was between me, my dad, and my real mom, going to church with her was never a pleasant experience. Quite honestly, I fucking hated it. But then my dad meets my stepmom, who I consider my real mom anyway, even though she didn't give birth to me, what I'm saying? And her family goes to church, and it's a much different experience, what I'm saying? So I got mixed feelings about the whole thing. Okay? But generally, if you see someone wearing a pent around their fucking neck, don't go up to them, okay, hand them a goddamn Jesus pamphlet. Now here's what happened. I'm in the middle of my split shift at work one day. I think this happened like last week or the week before. And this lady approached me. She said, that's cooling. Is that made of pure silver? And I said, I don't know. I got Spencer's, whatever. Okay? And then she hands me a pamphlet that says, Finding Jesus Much Easier. Okay? And she goes, no, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. Now, I smiled politely, but as soon as she left, I threw it away. Okay? I can't tell you how many times I have people say that you need Jesus in your life. Okay? Now, I want to share with you an experience that I had when I was younger. Okay? Now, at the time, I lived in South Lake Tahoe, California. My stepmom's parents were in town. We were going to church for Easter, right? I got down and I prayed. And I said, God, I want to see Jesus Christ walk through that door. I got back up, thinking, yeah, whatever. 2 seconds later, it fucking happened. White shawl, red sash, the whole 9 yards. He walked into the church, turned to the left on where the stand or the preacher stands, whatever, and disappeared. And when he did it, nobody around me was moving, and all the sound was shut off. Now, some Christians might say, that is Jesus Christ showing you himself, my son. You must convert now. Okay? Now, I have a more logical explanation, and I think that's the energy in the room was Jesus, it was church, it was what have you, okay? I think that manifested itself into some kind of cosmic being of some sorts. There's these things that the magnetic waves in the earth. There's a lot of scientific explanations for it. Okay? The thing of it is, if Jesus loves all his children, he's not going to give a shit if I'm a Luciferian or not, you know what I'm saying? A Luciferian Wiccan or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He really isn't, And I wasn't, and the incident pissed me off like no other. Because one, she's all pretending to be interested in my ring just so she can hand me a fucking pamphlet that I don't give 2 shits about. Handing me a pamphlet I don't give 2 fiddlers of a fuck about. Fiddler's fuck, there we go. That's what I was, yeah. Now, you don't see me going to Christians and Catholics saying, have you heard the good word of Cobrajan lately? Or have you heard the good word of Lucifer lately? No. Okay? Because I acknowledge the fact that they have their beliefs and that I have mine, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be extremely hypocritical of me to go up to them and start, preaching about Luciferianism and shit, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have a problem with Christians or Catholics, like I said, until they start pulling shit like that. Then I get offended. I shouldn't not really offended, but more agitated, if that makes any sense. And then, then there's the issue on the Young Turks, where this apparently religious group wanted to put the Ten Commandments statue up in, the capital or whatever, or some city, okay? I don't remember the specifics of it. But the thing of it is, you can't, now if you want to do a cross, that's one thing. Okay, I can understand that. But the Ten Commandments, no, you can't do that. That's just, no. Okay, that's just, no. But then these same people got offended when Satanists wanted to put up a monument honoring Satan, and then even more offended when some other religion wanted to do it. The thing of it is, if it's privately funded by the religious groups, if you will, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it can be on state ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love the reaction, of some people were reporting about it on Fox News. They were so offended by God, they were just like, well, how dare they? And I think the biggest problem, and like I said, I don't have a problem with Christians or Catholics until they start shoving it in my face, you know what I'm saying? Then I have something to say about it. Now, had I not been at work and about to start the second half of my split shift, I would have kindly said, no thank you, please fuck off, suck Satan's dick, whatever, But I figured that wouldn't be very nice of me, and I figured, I'm going to take the high road and just be a bigger person about it, you know what I'm saying? So she basically wasted her own goddamn pamphlet. And then the fact that she walked out of the store saying, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, I'm like, I don't give two fucks what you are or not, okay? Do you see this around my fucking neck? Chances are I don't want Jesus in my life, okay? Here's the thing, all you extremist Christians and Catholics out there who just get off on shoving your shit in people's faces, okay? Fuck you, okay? If I want to find Jesus in my life, I'll do it my own goddamn will, okay? I hate being this negative about the whole thing, considering it's Christmas and all, but, I've never been the happiest around Christmas because I've had a lot of shit happen to me on Christmas time. The divorce that I went through with my biological mom and my dad was not exactly the cleanest, and, she never bothered to contact me, and when she did, it was like we were complete strangers anyway. So, I could get two shits less about my real mom. I really could. So, if she tried contacting me now, I'd probably fucking punch her in the face. Not shitting you. I don't give a shit if I get assault charges or not. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of anger inside of me. I can acknowledge that. But I find healthy ways of expressing it, if that makes any sense. And one of the ways I express it is through my music. And I think that's a much more positive outlet, you know what I'm saying, than actually taking it on somebody, you know what I'm saying? Plain and simple, really. Now, had she come up to me and said, hey, can I talk to you about Jesus? I would have said, no, thank you, and she would, this is the thing. This is one of those ironic things, all right? I was walking to work one day, and I missed the bus because the bus wasn't running that day because of how nasty the weather was outside, okay? As I'm walking to work, this complete stranger picks me up. He has a crucifix in his fucking mirror, and I'm like, I don't say anything about it, whatever. He gives me a ride to work, and he says, would you like me to pray for you? I simply said, no, thank you. And he said, okay, that's fine, have a nice day. I said, thanks for the ride. I got out of his truck, whatever. And I was completely taken aback by the generosity. Not only that, but instead of being an hour and a half late for work, I ended up being like maybe 6 minutes late for work. That's not something I try to do, you know what I'm saying? I try to be on time for work every day. I'm scheduled to work. It's just, So, you might think of these as outrageous claims or whatever. I don't care. Okay. Now, when I was in Jericho before I met Stephanie, I actually attended Bible study. It wasn't to become a Christian or a Catholic. It was to, how should I put this, gain a better insight to their side of the story before going off and judging them so harshly, right? And the pastor's talking to me about this family. He goes to his church, and he's saying that their daughter's a vegetable, basically. And they're praying real hard that she gets better, right? Here's the thing. I asked him straightforward. I said, why would an all-loving God do this to his followers? And he gave me the usual God works in mysterious ways Schmidt and all that. So, yeah. Now, if for me personally, if I'm throwing my unguided faith into something, I wouldn't want them making me question my faith in them by hurting people I care about. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of fucked up. Okay. And people say that Satan's the bad guy and all that shit. Well, here's the thing. Hypothetical, let's say she died. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, when those faithful followers of Jesus are at her funeral, I bet you one thing. They may question their faith real fucking hard right now. Sitting there going, God, why'd you let her die? You know? And, you know, I asked them, what's hell? What's it look like? You know, I asked them the really good questions that the Catholics can't answer, Christians can't answer, the straightforward answer. You know, I asked them all really good questions because I was curious. I wanted to know more. I wanted to learn. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't give me a straightforward answer. He kept on dodging my question with 20 different answers and shit. And it was pissing me off. And at some point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this noise. I quit going because it wasn't for me. Now, when it comes to religion, I think of it as a spiritual guidance, in a sense, a place to belong, if you will. Some of us find comfort in Jesus. Some of us find comfort in Set and Lilith. You know what I'm saying? And so for Christians to judge others for their religious beliefs is not only extremely hypocritical, but extremely unchristian-like. The Ten Commandments, love thy neighbor. You know what I'm saying? So the big difference between the Christian having the pamphlet and the one who gave me a ride to work, okay? Big difference. He didn't, you know, when I said no thank you, when he asked to pray for me, he didn't continue to pray for me or anything. You know what I'm saying? He was very respectful about it. He said, that's cool, you know. I didn't go into detail my religious beliefs. I merely just said, look, no thank you, I believe in something else. That's all I said. I wasn't rude about it or nothing. And he was very understanding, very polite about it. And I said, oh, that's cool, you know. I can dig that, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things that really... and with any religion, you're going to have a lot of crazy shit that supposedly happened, you know what I'm saying? My tailbone's a little sore, because like I said, I kind of fucked it up at work. It was already pretty sore this morning, but then, you know, salt on the sidewalk, and I kind of backed into that door, and, you know, that door handle just, you know. So I took a hot bath, and it's feeling a lot better now. But, the reason why I was hurting to begin with is because at one point I had a cyst on my tailbone, and I had it surgically removed, I think, about a year and a half ago. I don't know how long it's been. But there's been times it's, you know, irritated me, if that makes any sense. Not to the point of discomfort, it's livable, you know, make the best of it. But, yeah. Speaking of shitty weather, ugh, man. Winter here in town has been kind of interesting, to say the least. For 4 days, it just does nothing but snow, and then for another 4 to 6 days, it does nothing but be nice and warm, and all the snow melts, and then it snows again. You know. So, yeah. That's my 2 cents on it. And, you know what I'm saying, if you're one of those Christians or Catholics that likes to shove your beliefs in people's faces, please don't. Okay. If you want to stand on the side of the street holding up signs saying, worship Jesus, it might irritate some drivers driving by, but you're perfectly entitled to do that. It's freedom of speech, after all. But I think when it comes to the 2 biggest pissing matches in our society, when it comes to competition, I think politics and religion are neck and neck. Because with politics and religion, you have people who think they're right all the goddamn time, and they don't give a fuck what the facts are. They're just set in their ways, you know what I'm saying? And it's like arguing with a fucking child. You could tell them that 2 plus 2 equals 4, and they could sit there and say, no, it doesn't, it equals fish, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But, and it wouldn't matter if the fact, well, no, 2 plus 2 equals 4, obviously, but it wouldn't do you any good to convince the person that thinks it equals fish, because, like I said, they're set in their ways. So, but I think if you're going to become, you know, a Luciferian or a Satanist or whatever, before you go dabbling in the dark arts and what have you, and the witchcraft and all that shit, take time to learn a little bit about other religions before you do it. doing this opens your mind a bit, you know what I'm saying? That way you're not just diving straight into it and, and hating on people for their beliefs, because it makes you a bigger hypocrite than they are, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of covered this in one of my videos previously where, some Christians and Catholics had a problem with Halloween because it was satanic, and then, lo and behold, as soon as someone turns around and says, well, okay, we're going to put, a satanic monument on state grounds, you're going to bitch about it. But you turn around and giving a shit about our holiday, so what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And shit like that, honestly, it just makes me laugh. Hysterically, you know what I'm saying? It just goes to show you how immature some people in our society really are. And, some people may look at this video and go, well, fuck you, Joshua, you know what I'm saying? I really don't care. Okay? So yeah. I got tomorrow off, so if my cyst is still hurting a little bit, I shouldn't say cyst, excuse me, my tailbone is still a little sore, but it's a lot better since the hot bath that I had. Not much else to say in this video. Also, you guys can check out Riley 1. It's a pretty awesome series. I watched it. Pretty good, considering it was a first time deal for them, and you know what I'm saying? So, it's pretty awesome. And the thing of it is, this thing that gets me about it is that people are so obsessed about posting the 10 Commandments in the state grounds, right? Yet they'll do nothing to follow it, which means, like I said, they're being extremely hypocritical, and I just... Ugh. So, yeah. And I've had several people tell me I need Jesus in my life, and to which I say, no thank you. Okay? If the shit does exist and he is real, he'll accept me for who I am anyway, because I'm supposedly his father's creation or whatever, right? So here's the thing. If God created humans and he created sins, that make God a sinner. And again, I'm not asking these questions to belittle your faith if you are a follower of Christian or Catholic faith. I'm really asking questions to make you think a little bit. Supposedly, Satan was a fallen angel from heaven, and actually, ironically enough, Jesus' brother. Okay? And some people think of him as the guardian of hell. He isn't, supposedly. I don't know. But you get a lot of different faiths mixed into one. See, back then, it was a huge deal. Christians had a lot of control and power. They could accuse someone of witchcraft and stone them to death for it. And, a lot of natural explanations that could be explained with science back then we thought that was witchcraft, so people got blamed for it, and because of that they were killed for it. Seems a bit unfair, but times have progressed, thankfully enough. And if you are approached by a Jehovah's, so that's the thing. If a Jehovah's Witness starts approaching me, I'm gonna have so much fun fucking with his or her fragile soul. They'd be like, I'm gonna talk to you about God. I'm like, fuck you, Sky God, bitch! They'd be like, what? Like, you heard me. Get the fuck out of my face, you little bastard. They'd be like, oh shit, they freak out and shit. I'd be like sitting there laughing about it. Like, now, there's one exception for me going to an actual church, okay? And if my grandparents go to church and ask me to come along, I have the option to say no, but sometimes I do go, okay? There's been a couple of Christmases I've gone to church with them, and they actually had a harpist there playing a harp, and I actually like the sound of a harp, so, There's actually a church across the street from my apartment, ironically enough, and it's got this huge bell tower, and the bell just sounds really nice. I mean, I'm not a Christian or nothing, but I can appreciate a good sounding bell. So, yeah. There's been times I'm walking home, right to the back of my apartment, and I hear the bell go off. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. But, yeah. So, that's all I have to say on the issue, really. Just thought I'd update my fans and anyone who will fucking listen on the situation going on right now. And, you know, and things with my dad weren't always negative or complicated. And there'll be a brief period of time where we're actually making an effort to get along and not fight with each other. But then someone, either me or him, says something that pisses the other one off, and it results in us fighting, you know. And it's just, it's frustrating. It really is, you know. Hell, I can remember growing up as a kid. I was always around dogs. The first dog I ever came in contact with was a Doberman Pinscher that my dad used to own. And this dog was older than shit. By the time I was born, this dog was on its last few years, man. But I can remember crawling around in these white rocks. There was a little house decoration. Dog was laying on the white rocks. Let me crawl over him. Say shit, you know. For some reason, I seem to have this really amazing connection with animals. Like, I've met dogs that have this reputation for being aggressive and not very people-friendly, right? And these dogs just fucking adore me. And it blows people's minds. Like, oh my god, he or she's never like that with everyone else. I'm like, I'll tell you, man. You know? I'm not much of a people person, if that makes any sense. But, whatever. I'm not sure how Christmas is going to go this year, but with my dad just barely surviving a car accident, we'll be on hospital drugs, bruised up, broken, you know, bones and shit. You know, he's going to be, you know, between that and tearing some ligaments in his arm a couple months ago before that, you know, he's, you know. So, I don't know. I really don't. My dad used to teach gymnastics for a living. You know, he's a gymnastics coach. Make all the jokes you want. I don't give a shit. One particular gym he used to own was a very small church, and in the side of the church they had this tall-ass metal structure, right? There's 4 legs, you know, kind of like a windmill kind of body, right? And on top was a bell, big old silver one. Didn't have a rope on it or nothing, but yeah. Got to see it ring when I was younger. Pretty awesome shit. When I was a kid, they hold these like events in the church, right? Like these carnival type deals, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know. I remember bouncing on this trampoline, and there's this window way the fuck up here, right? I was able to bounce all the way up to the top, sit on the ledge, and look outside. Yeah. Surprisingly, you know what I'm saying, so I haven't forgotten my childhood, really. And when you look at it, my childhood really hasn't been that bad. It's just, you know, certain things happen, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, so, you know, and to be honest with you, when you're mad at your parents, it's easier to remember the negative shit you went through with them than it is to remember the positive because you're mad at them, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. If you want to check out the Riley Rewind series, you can go to Ray William Johnson's channel, and all 5 acts are on there and shit, you know. Give it a check. You know, check it out, you know, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie, you know. You know, and the thing of it is, too, my dad's always like, hey, you know, I want to work on a car with you and shit, you know, get that father-son time in and shit like that, you know. First car I had, the engine went kaputs and cost more money than the fucking paint job, so, the hell with that. The second car I owned was a 52 Ford pickup. Oh my set, was it gorgeous. 351 Windsor dual exhaust. Okay, and they took it to this guy to fix it for us. Screwed me and my dad over out of a lot of fucking money. The only thing he did right on the car was the fucking engine. Everything else was just shit. Complete shit. We took it to my uncle to work on it. He tried to pull the fucking box off of it, and the box just fell apart. Yeah. Great. Better Business Bureau got involved. Alright, got that squared away. My uncle another 2 years later, so 4 years, okay, and I'm helping my grandparents, and my great-grandparents moved out of the state at the time, and it's not in this state in particular, but as I'm helping them move, I walk over, and I see the pickup just laying in parts, man. And I'll admit, I cried a little bit. I patted it, I said, well, it was nice while it lasted. Sold to some guy for $500. Yeah. After we'd spent a shit ton of money into it. And the thing of it is, my uncle's not incapable, wasn't incapable of making the things to make the car work and run and do what it's supposed to do. He has that kind of training. He's just an incompetent, lazy bastard. So, there you go. But my family's got screw-ups. I know everyone's family has got those group of screw-ups. It's just, it seems to be the talk at every family reunion or every Christmas. How's so-and-so doing? Oh, the same, still fucking up and making stupid decisions, It happens, unfortunately. So. And the thing of it is, too, man, I was riding around town on my bike, and I saw this junk shop that had these junky old cars sitting up beside it, and I shit you not, up beside it, I saw a 52 Ford pickup. I was like, ah! So, I'm not gonna lie, I think it would have been pretty sweet to be able to drive that pickup my senior year. I think it would have been pretty fucking awesome, actually. But it is what it is, you get screwed out of a lot of things, you don't spend your entire life bitching about it, you acknowledge it for what it is, and just try to move on. So if I do get my next car, hopefully I won't get screwed on it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm tired of getting screwed with. Now, life's been pretty good for me these last couple of months. I also say I can't complain, I got a steady paying job, I got my hot girlfriend living with me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really can't complain much. But, if I see other people complaining about their life, like just today I had a coworker bitching because, she was under a lot of stress to get everything done. And no one was doing their part, and it was pissing her off, and I went outside, and I gave her a couple of cigarettes, and I said, what's up, and she talked to me about her problems, blah, blah, whatever, and I said, hey, it could be worse, at least you're not working in a sewage treatment plant, and she kind of smirked at that a little bit, like, so, if anything, life is going to have obstacles, either way you look at it, whether you have autism or not, and, the best thing you can do, I guess, is to just kind of say, fuck it, and make the best of it, you know what I'm saying? Because the more time you spend bitching about the shit you don't have in your life, the less happy you're going to be. And if you want something bad enough, what do you got to do to get it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, there's a shit ton of cars I wouldn't mind having. I'd love to own a hearse for one. That'd be badass. I'd love to own a rat rod. That'd be fucking sweet, too. Okay? But in order to get those things, I'd have to get my license and then save up. And, I'm not the greatest when it comes to saving money. I'll admit that. But, whatever. Fucking cigarette went out. Fantastic. Also, I want to show you guys something, a quick little stuff I'm working on. Oh. This is one of my tobacco pipes that I own. I sanded it off and repainted it. It's not perfect by any means, but I think it looks pretty cool. The paint on it's still a little sticky. I'm waiting for it to dry completely before I smoke out of it. And the way I did this actually was I took some paper towels and I stuffed, I filled both ends up on both sides here so they wouldn't get paint on the inside of them. And I just spray painted it, you know what I'm saying? And then when it dried to where I can pick it up and hold it, I took all the paper towels out and, it's still drying, mind you. It's still, somewhat sticky, but not entirely. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool looking. I like the black and dark green. It's my favorite color combination. So yeah, pretty cool looking, I think. It's a Dr. Garabo that I customized myself. I took some sandpaper to it and I sanded the stain off of it and what have you. So Yeah. The thing of it is, though, is I've seen these pipes that Peterson makes. Oh, Gesundheit. The Racing Green series. They're very similar to this. Dark green, black stem, polished, gorgeous pipes. But they're a little expensive and hard to come by. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Peterson might have discontinued them at one point, started them and discontinued them again, I don't know. So I figured for half the cost I could make my own version of it, I guess. I wasn't able to sand it smooth, the ridges in there are still there, but honestly I'm not really concerned about that because, you know, this looks pretty cool. Yeah, you can see I missed a spot. Right about, you know, right there, I missed a spot. I'm not really concerned about it as far as, you know, the pipe goes anyway, so. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Got my hair in a ponytail right now. Some of you may know this, but I have a mild form of trichoceria, and I have a problem with picking out my hair. So sometimes I just got in the habit, I guess, just say, you know what, if I'm feeling stressed, then put my hair in a ponytail so it reminds me not to pick it out. And you can't tell I have it, you know, because my hair is long enough to where it covers up the affected areas of my trichoceria. But, you know, and the wind blowing outside and my hair's not in a ponytail, I'm thinking, crap, you know, the hair blows this way or whatever, and, you know, my shit gets exposed, and I'm like, you know, it's gross, no one sees that, so yeah, I'm very self-conscious of it. So, you know, I just gotta keep telling myself, hey, don't do that, you know, if you feel like, you know, you gotta pick yourself, just like, no, don't do that, so, yeah, so no telling what, the next couple of days holds. That's the beauty of life, I guess, is that it's going to be full of surprises like that, you know. Well, anyway, this is KingCobraJFS with another video, and thanks for watching, and see y'all later.